So the history of Stage Door 22. I think it was back in 2014. I was helping with the show Spam-A-Lot here. I was actually an English teacher, but they found out I had a theater background. And after helping with that, the director of that said, wow, you're really into this. You really like what you're doing. And I said, I do. So he asked me if I want to direct the following year. We did Shrek the Musical, was our first big one, and it was a big success. The kids loved it. And that's kind of when it really started to form. The name Stage Door 22, I was walking outside the door that leads into the stage from the outside. We were going out there sometime to build some set. And it caught my eye that the number of the door was 22. And so I said, you guys, the name should be Stage Door 22. And at first they didn't get it. And then I showed them. And they were like, oh, yeah, we love it. So it kind of took off. And ever since then, we've been Stage Door 22, which I still like. I still like the name. I think it's good. So, yeah, so that's the history of the club itself. It started, I don't know, about 20 or 30 kids. But Shrek, we got a massive response. We had like 80 kids involved. And I don't think it's stopped since then. All of our shows are pretty big. And even the kids who aren't involved, this past show we did had about 40 kids involved in the show, but another 40 plus involved in all the crew work that people don't see. So it really is a cool club that meets the needs, not just of performers, but of a lot of the people like the technical stuff too. So one thing that's nice about Stage Door 22 is that we used to be a little ragtag, but I feel like we've got really good structure now. Every spring, the kids vote. The kids from Stage Door 22 vote in a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a historian/events manager. As well as that, we have a crew chief for every single crew. So that's called our executive council, and the executive council meets every other Friday to kind of determine what the calendar of the year is going to be for Stage Door 22 outside of the shows. So we have these great fun Fridays once or twice a month where we do improv, or we have someone lead a workshop or whatever it might be. And the council is the one that determines that calendar and runs the events that happen on those Friday afternoons. So the decision, how we decide the shows each year, we always try to do one play and one musical. And the reason is because some kids can't sing. That's just the truth. And we try to have an opportunity for those kids who just purely love acting to still have a shot at a lead, or their talent might be comedy or just acting or whatever it is. It may not be music. So that's why we always do a play. The dreaded audition process. This might be one of the number one reasons I got into directing. I hate auditioning too. Auditioning is so hard at any level, but I think it's especially hard for high school kids because they're worried enough about image and all that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, they're coming in to try to impress a teacher and their friends, and they're up against their friends. There's just a lot of nerves that are involved.
I can remember being that terrified freshman and, really being passionate about this and wondering how she was going to react. And it was always so supportive.
It's get over your nerves and have the confidence that you know that you can do it, because there's a bunch of people that will support you here. A bunch of amazing people that have supported not just me, but everyone else in the audition process.
But we try to make it as simple, because I also think as an educator, I think it's important that we teach kids how to audition as well. So the audition process, the auditions get posted when they're going to happen. I post the material that they're expected to know or learn or be prepared for. That's for the musical. Sometimes with the plays, we just come in and do some cold reads and start to weed people out. But we have a large group for the musicals. You have to be able to sing. I say that up front to get one of the big parts. And then after that, we do some reading of different scenes and whatnot. And then that starts to reveal who has chemistry, who's comfortable on stage, who understands the storyline, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of the basis of the audition process. So we chose The Little Mermaid because we really we wanted a blockbuster that would bring some money in to the club. The club's self-funded. And we knew we weren't going to make quite as much doing Midsummer Night's Dream. So it gave us the freedom to do that. I also really love, every 4 years or so, or every 3 years or so, I like the big blockbuster kid-friendly ones because I love having the young kids. We had what's called an educational talkback, and I knew we would do for one after COVID and just try to get kids excited again about theater and coming to see it. I knew I wanted to do a Disney or something fun, so the kids could come up on the last day and see the whole set and meet the actors, and it happened, and it was terrific. And then I think a director also, especially a high school director, I think also looks at who they have, who are their juniors, and start to think about the plays for the next year. And I knew I had 2 superstar women coming up senior year. So I said, okay, I need some big blockbuster, something Disney-esque, but I need 2 blockbuster lead women roles. Little Mermaid seemed like the obvious choice. So yeah, that's how we go about picking them. As I mentioned earlier, we have quite a lot of crews in our tech part. We have, let's see if I can get them all: lighting, props, costumes, publicity. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Which one am I forgetting? I guess that's it. I think that's it. And stage management, but that's kind of a crew in and of itself. But each crew has a very unique and special job. Lighting is kind of lighting and audio. That was the other one, which is ironic because I'm holding a mic.
Our job really is to not only just light up the actors, but also to make sure that the audience gets a really immersive experience with different colors and different effects and like flashes and all those kind of things that just create the show.
It's to set a mood, set time and place. There's a lot of versatility with lighting.
They're hanging lights. They're learning how to focus lights. They're learning how to add gels that change the color of lights.
My lighting crew has been fairly small, so we work with at max probably around maybe 6 to 8 people at a time, 4 of us being crew chiefs. So we have been working with a very small crew the past 2 shows.
So for each rehearsal, typically we have a plan going into each night, like a general plan, and we just kind of go down our list, depending on the day. Like recently we've just been hanging a bunch of blues. So we just kind of go down our list of lights to hang and just kind of make stuff up from there.
Or recently we've been doing a lot of testing. So a couple of rehearsals ago, we made a color palette, which will consist of the main colors we're going to use for this show, which for the Little Mermaid will consist of a lot of blues and purples and a little bit of teal. So we created that color palette. So now we're kind of in the process of testing various ways the colors can interact with each other. How can we set up different scenes with different colors and make it feel different and unique to each scene? And really a lot of testing on how will this light shine onto the actors? Is the actor bright enough on the stage to have these special effects on?
There's just so much you can do with lighting. I don't think people are aware of how talented the kids are that are up there. Lighting takes a lot of measurement, and I think it's trigonometry to get the right formula and calculation to make sure that the beam of light hits the right place at the right time.
Lighting is honestly really, really simple in terms of just what we have you do. Really, our training consists of, do you know how to use a wrench? Can you hang a light, which we teach you? Can you take off a light, which we teach you? Can you look through a file cabinet to pick up a specific gel, which colors the light on stage, or a gobo, which is like a stencil to print out certain shapes in the light. Our work really consists of taking a light, hanging it, and then adding some sort of detail as a gel or gobo, and then taking it off and moving it or whatever we need to do.
Also learning the light board, which is a complex system to program an entire show.
Our job there is to ensure that when we up to the week during the week of the show, we are able to program each light. So for different scenes, we have different lighting, and whenever we want a special effect, we do that through the light board. So we hang the lights. So then later when we move over to the light board, then we're able to do everything fairly quickly. Just plug in numbers and kind of program how we want the show to be.
So mics is kind of one of my favorite parts of being in tech crew because it allows us, obviously it makes it so people can hear. But when we're miking people, it involves a lot of trial and error because we have a lot of issues because our mics are so unpredictable. And so there's a lot. Doing mics is a very involved process.
You have about 16 mics that go throughout the show. It's always been hard to balance it in the auditorium, but I think we're getting better at it.
Soundboard is interesting. It looks very complicated, and I admittedly don't know everything about it. But from the little bits that I do know, it can be understandable.
Certain spot focused on whether it's characters, group of people, certain areas maybe, which it's usually just for like groups of people, like say characters dancing around, you follow them with the spotlight to make sure they're well lit all the time, that kind of thing.
Spots are really fun because you can literally just make sure that people are seen when they're walking, and it's really cool.
So I've been researching something lately. Broadway has been doing projections in the background, and projections have gotten so good that they really do take the place of drops. So I decided to give that a try for this after a lot of research, because it's expensive and I was a little bit nervous. But after a lot of research and a lot of kind of figuring it out, we decided to use projections for Little Mermaid. And I think they were a big success. I mean, I think the majority of people really thought they were cool. Some of them were moving. They allowed us to move from scene to scene without needing too much set change. And so it helped transitions be really quick, which I think makes a good play. Long transitions, you lose the audience. So yeah, the projections were a huge benefit. An instrument called a short throw projector. It's very, very expensive to rent and way more expensive, up above $30,000, the cost of the projector itself. So that was also a little nerve-wracking that we were responsible for that. But it worked out perfectly, and it just was a massive machine that Brian Deep learned to master, the projections, that really added a ton to the show, and I definitely think we would use them again.
For me personally, during the show, it is a sense of almost excitement, but also it's a little bit fear-inducing because, you don't want to mess up. But overall, if I had to describe it in one word, it'd be fun because making the show is fun and great, but actually being in the show, knowing you are presenting what you've been working on for so long and put so much effort into, and presenting that to the audience who hopefully responds in applause and cheer, is probably what makes it so fun.
Props. If I forget my props people, they'll be mad at me.
Props crew is kind of glorified arts and crafts.
We make props for the show. Oh, and we make the posters that go in the media center.
We sort through the script and look for any props that actors use or pick up or are planted on the stage. And we either create, buy, or reuse any of the props we have in our props closet.
We have a lot of reused props, a lot of things that we have to make, or whether we spruce them up or make them look uglier for any specific purpose. I mean, there are lots of things that we do to change what we already have and fit the budget, but there are also a lot of things that we have to buy, and that's another part of just making sure that we can afford to buy new things. We start with a props list, which is a long master list of all of the props in a show. Some have more than others. And then we color code that by what we need to buy, what we already have, what we need to make. And then we assign teams within our crew of people who work on specific props or specific scenes. And then we establish working with the actors when they enter, if they have to be planted on stage. And then from there, we make our prop tables backstage. So it's a lot of organizational skills, essentially.
In the past, it's only been the 2 crew chiefs, but this year we were really lucky to have 13 people in our crew.
It fluctuates in the mid-teens just because we have a lot of actors on our crew, so depends on who's needed on stage at that moment. I think if you have any artistic ability at all, and most people do, as long as you have a creative mind, you have a place in props. In terms of becoming a junior crew chief and then moving up into a crew chief job like what Ryan and I do, that takes a little longer just to learn how to make the props list, but not long at all.
For at least me and Ella, the current crew chiefs of the crew, we went through the ropes during one show. Our first show was Christmas Carol, and we basically were taught how to make a props list and how to be creative in making the props that we need.
We have a lot of props and not a ton of space. We also share that space with a lot of other people in the school, inside and outside of theaters.
Sometimes it gets a little hectic. It's a huge room, and there's a lot to organize.
Organizing the props room has to happen at the beginning of every show because obviously we end up leaving a disorganized mess by the end of every production. So it's a good couple weeks of coming in every couple days and just taking inventory.
We go systematically sorting through things and then categorizing them on the shelves. It's really fun to do. I mean, it really does help you be more creative in life, and it's like a problem-solving crew because you have to think about all the materials that you have available and then how to create things out of them. It's really just an arts and crafts crew. It's really fun to do. You get to make things out of nothing. Like we're making a wedding cake out of a bucket in a cardboard tin. So it's pretty fun.
What is the weirdest prop that you guys have?
We have a beheaded flamingo that we turned into a turkey for a Christmas Carol. The flamingo, it's like one of those lawn flamingos, you know? And we chopped the head off and we turned the body of it into a turkey. That's probably the strangest thing. That and some rubber chickens that we like to name and make them our mascots, but yeah.
Well, we have a mascot. He's not really a prop, but it's a rubber chicken that we found stuck in the brooms, and he got decapitated, so we call him Stuck Joe.
The costumes crew basically takes any of the ideas that we come up with once we know what the show is, and then we can sketch them out and plan for what costume each character is going to need. And then we usually start making stuff a month into the show, and it gets finished right up until Tech Week. And then we have everybody try it on, and that's pretty much it.
It's a fun process while doing it. It's not taxing or frustrating.
Honestly, I feel like it's a really quick process. People usually catch on fairly quickly with I would say a week and a half. Currently, I believe there's about 12 people in it. We've gotten up to crews of 20, but it usually settles down to 10 people. A lot of the stuff we have to get specially ordered. Some of the stuff we already have, and then I would say a good 20 to 30% we just make from hand.
Most of the sea creatures costumes, we made them with fabric we had lying around or cardboard. We try to do whatever we can to use the resources we have. We only order it if absolutely necessary.
Often make a visit to, I like to call it Sal's Boutique or Salvation Army, or some of the other places where we can find some cheap things, secondhand shops, savers and whatnot. Sometimes we're repurposing old things. Jamie is often building stuff from scratch. So the kids are learning how to repurpose, but also how to sew, how to measure, how to cut material right, what material works and what material doesn't, how to add ornament to the outfit. The costume crew is big and it is crazy, and a lot of glue guns are involved.
What's it like organizing the closet?
Absolute nightmare.
A nightmare.
This is the costume closet.
Come in. She liked the golden furry things.
Ta-da! Wow. It goes further. And we're sorting.
You've done today is organizing.
We've gone through all the dresses, and we're going through all this long thing of bins, and half the stuff is getting donated.
Oh, that's sweet.
We support Goodwill.
Actually, Ryan.
We've only done dresses.
Yeah, we've
only done dresses.
done dresses, and we've done a lot of these bins.
We have. We did dresses, cloaks, what was the other big
Shirts.
thing we did? Oh, fabric.
Fabric was the big one. We downsized a lot of fabric.
We still have to do shirts, pants,
Well, they've been going through the
suit
shirts.
coats.
They did all the vests.
You know, it's true, but we have all of this.
Then we have
stuff
all
to
the
do.
hanging shirts, and we still have a side closet. So if you want to go through this.
But this is how you run a theater man, like you. You make it happen because you save things, and then you can use it for the next show. We're budget conscious, right?
Yes.
Just agree, Diane.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, organizing is not fun, but it's something we have to do. And after everything's organized, it's so nice, and everything just like rolls so smoothly. I love having like everything organized. It's just really, really frustrating to do.
Jamie had to put together over 40 costumes. I don't even know the number because a lot of the kids played more than one part, but maybe it might have been closer to 50 or 60 costumes for all the costumes for Little Mermaid. So that's what the costume kids are working on the whole time. They each get assigned a person in the play that they're responsible for their costumes, trying to build it from soup to nuts.
During the show, our crew is split. Half of them are backstage in the dressing rooms helping the actors and actresses get ready, and the other half are getting any quick changes set up on the wings of the stage.
In case there are any costume malfunctions, because those happen. It's real time, it's a show. You know things are going to happen. I love being in costumes. I think costumes is really fun.
I love it so much. It is insane and chaotic, and it is the perfect mix of both of them.
It wasn't my first option. I'm going to admit that. I'm sorry, Diana. Front office was my first option. But I do not regret joining costumes at all. It's my favorite part of the school day, honestly. I love being able to just come here and hang out with everybody afterwards. James, don't look at me like that.
So set crew manages everything that goes on the stage.
Basically just help design the set, like painting, construction, all of that.
Whether it be their transportation or their creation. We have a team of very skilled members, both new and old, taking care of their creation and coming up with the ideas for what to go on stage.
Study what the scenes would be, what each scene would look like. We visualize, we take maybe the first couple, maybe one or two, just to think about how the scene should look and the color scheme and how it fits the character and little details,
We have our crew split off into teams, and those small teams work on different projects at once. Currently, as of filming, we have a team working on Coral, a team working on King Triton's throne, a team working on Ariel's grotto, and a team working on the proscenium. So that's around 4 projects at once. But as we continue moving on into the season, we will have more projects.
Putting together backdrops and coming up with ideas that kind of match the theme. So for example, right now with the Little Mermaid, we're working on making coral. And so with the coral, we're making it out of pool noodles, and we set it up to kind of look nice in the background.
Sure. So we're working on this sort of grotto. It's a lot of pool noodles that we're using, just cutting them up, making different bits of coral and seaweed, stuff like that.
Some other tasks, such as using a drill, saws, and building, they take a little bit more time to be more refined. Whereas with painting is a bit easier to take care of. Little Mermaid has a bunch of moving set pieces, but nothing permanent. And so that would say around 5 to 7 major pieces. Stage crew are the people who take stuff on and off the stage. They're employed during our productions and trained in how to move everything on and off so that it all fits in the right time slot.
I really liked going up into the catwalks and hanging up the lanterns, and it was just kind of fun looking down and joking around a little bit while hanging up lanterns.
Jamie is the master of dressing the set. She's just such a phenomenal artist that our sets are above and beyond anything they've ever been since Jamie joined us. Just her eye for detail and color and texture is amazing, and the kids learn all that with her. So the kids are learning to build as well as how to dress it and add color, etc., etc.
A lot of our crew is very welcoming, especially with our cast and crew. We open any newcomers with open arms, and we're willing to teach you everything that you want to know and everything more.
We do have to get things done, but I will say that we just also have an absolute blast together.
Oh, that Well, that was good. That was pretty good.
Cannot sing.
I cannot sing. Want to see me sing?
Sure.
Oh gosh.
This is where I belong, beneath the clear white blue here. Saying we should practice.
Yeah.
Cam is saying we should practice right now.
I am saying we should practice.
What circuit?
Oh, this is where we practice.
Yeah, we practiced.
Should we give him an example of a song we sang?
It was like heave ho.
The audio is gonna be bad in here. It's just.
And also,
We're not singing.
All right. Yeah, but no, we're singing heave ho.
No, because I suck at that one.
3, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Heave
ho, heave ho, heave ho, heave ho.
stow the mates
Batten the hatches.
There you go.
One of the best things about it is just, I feel like every single day that we're at rehearsal, we just are laughing. We just laugh and, we try different things that didn't work and we think it's hysterical. We make, joyfully like joke around and make fun of each other or whatever it might be. Giving each other a hard time, I guess, is a better way to do. I'm going to start over, James.
Is that Brandon?
That's how much battery is left.
Oh, 40 minutes.
Great sailor beware, because our biggins of room. Mysterious fathoms below.
Go, cameraman, catch up with me.
Below, below, from whence winter was to be flow. Kindness king and his bird people singing mysterious fathoms below.
Catch up with me, cameraman.
This is all looking too comfortable.
It's all crazy.
Oh my gosh, hello.
Yeah. So
We got the camera.
I think you should.
Oh my God! Cut that! What I just said. Yeah. We were talking about Ohio. Okay, let's pretend like you just walked in. Hey, you guys!
Oh my God!
What's happening? This is great.
All right, we're interviewing people. Right, come here. What are you doing here?
Absolutely not.
Let's interview Diana. Get Diana.
Hello. You're a horrible interview if you just point the camera at someone without question. Hi. How's it going?
Okay, Ryan, who do you play in the show?
I play Scuttle.
Wow, you're a joy to interview.
Ella, who do you play in the show?
That shot is awful.
Tree stump
Riley.
number 4. Sometimes Ariel. But Riley sings for me.
Hello there, my name is James. I am here with.
Ella.
What role you play, Ella?
I play Ariel.
Ariel. Okay. Good. Get out of here. All right.
Okay.
Next person. Okay. Just walk into my way.
Jack Sparrow. The Jack.
Come on. Mr. Rasconi.
Orangey red, Jamie.
What are you doing?
Are y'all pants? Are y'all
They're
pants?
Well, how's it going with the?
That's it.
We are currently trying to figure out if we have Prince Eric's sash or if we need to make it. So I'm going to check with my costume director, Miss Versconi. Too orangey red, you think? Or.
It's perfect.
Okay. We just want it on film. We have established Prince Eric's sash. We're working hard.
Perfect.
Is that my wig?
No.
Is that my wig?
That's your wig, yeah.
So just to walk you through, these eyes were taken
Off
from
of
a
a
fish
fish.
hat. And this is a Jack Sparrow hat from my house.
There has to be a 360.
From my house.
From Putnam, right? No?
Yeah, that was for Natalie.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that the thing?
Perfect.
We're filled with reminiscent memories over here. This is from Putnam. This skirt and this
You might want to explain
collar.
that Putnam
It was
was
in
the show
pants.
Putnam is the show that we did last spring.
Probably
Pants.
Gosh, Brandon, we can't take you anywhere.
I thought this was a Belle costume, to be honest.
It is.
That is a bell costume.
Well, it says gold princess.
Excuse.
Oh, that's generic.
I kind of do.
It's the off-brand Belle.
Not mine.
Oh my god. Matt.
The club is really important to the kids and to their health, and the arts are so valuable, but also that people don't realize how much work goes into it, and that I really want people to understand how talented our kids are and how much they're doing. You know, you come and you see Little Mermaid, but do you know how many kids it took to make the seagull costumes and the mermaid costume and the Ursula costume? Do you know how many lights are being programmed and hung and colors being changed and the kids that are doing it? And I just don't think people realize that. And I think it's important that they do because, we put in a lot of time, and the kids, they're just extraordinary. They're just terrific.
A little, I'm not flying.
We are a strong and mighty people.
We are strong and mighty people.
You are what you will.
You are what you will.
I love you.
I love you.
I respect you.
I respect you.
And I got your back.
And I got your back.
One more time.
One more.
We are strong and mighty people.
We are strong and mighty people.
You are what you will.
You are what you will.
I love you.
I love you.
I respect you.
I respect you.
And I got your back.
And I got your back.
Mermaid on 3.
1, 2, 3, mermaid.